Hi, friends. This is Professor, and welcome back to a new session of Learn English from Professor. We are on the fourth episode of the From Zero to Hero series. Today, we are going to look at some of the most common mistakes that people make while learning English. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, these mistakes can slow you down. You might not even know that these are some mistakes you're making. So today, let's find out those mistakes. I'll help you fix them and learn English easily. Also, this is a two-part episode because I cannot include everything in one. It might get a bit boring. So, let's get started with Part 1. Mistake number 1. Translating directly from your native language. You know, this is a common mistake that many people make. What they do is translate sentences directly from their native language. They don't care about the verb or sentence structure, and what happens is they end up with very funny, awkward sentences or unnatural phrases. I'll give you one example. I recently heard someone say, "I have hunger." Okay, I understood what he meant, but that is not how the sentence should be. It kind of sounded weird, you know? I know what it means, but still, it is not a proper sentence. So, here's what the mistake is. The person speaking this sentence is translating directly from their native language. In their native language, the sentence is said like that. But when he converted it directly to English, it sounded weird. The sentence structure is not proper in English. In English, we say, "I am hungry." Instead of that, he said, "I have hunger." It's just because of the translation issue he had from his native language to English. So, always remember this. Instead of translating from your native language, think of the sentence in English. Whenever you are speaking to someone in English, or even when you are thinking about something, try to think in English only. Do not try to translate. You can start forming simple sentences in English. Practice making simple sentences and then learn. For example, let's say you want to drink water. Make simple sentences like, "I want to drink water" in English, or simply, "I'm hungry," or "It's a cloudy day today," or something like that. Make simple sentences and start practicing to stop translating from your native language. The second mistake is focusing only on understanding and not speaking. You know what? When we are learning English, we read a lot. We listen to English. We watch. We write. We do everything. But we don't speak. That is a big mistake. You should stop it now. I'll give you an example. You may understand everything, whatever you are watching, reading, or listening to. You can understand every English word. But when it comes to speaking, you may freeze or feel unsure about what to say. Now, what can I say? How can I start the conversation? How can I answer that question? You'll have a lot of questions in your mind because you're not practicing speaking in English. It's important to speak English every day. Make sure you speak English daily. Whatever you want to talk about, any topic, you can choose and talk about that topic. Or, if you want to have a conversation with someone, say your mom, try to talk to her in English. Let her answer in any language, but try to talk to her in English. Or with your friends, try to talk to them in English. Let their reply be in your native language. That doesn't matter. What matters is in what language you are talking. You know what? After learning English for 1 or 2 years, you'll be very fluent in English. You know everything in English. You can speak English well. Everything is set. You are a very good English speaker. But what happens is, if you stop using English for almost 2 or 3 years and then try to speak English, you'll be like, wow, I don't remember anything. I cannot actually put these words into sentences. I'm kind of stuttering, and I cannot continue. You may feel like you're cringing here and there. You cannot continue to speak English as you did 2 years back. That is because you're not practicing. To learn any language, to speak any language, you need to actually speak it out loud. So always try to speak English loudly. Okay, not only loudly, you can also speak softly, but you should speak English every day. Practice English daily. Third mistake, fear of making mistakes. This is the most important topic. You should stop this mistake. You know why? Because to speak English, you should actually speak English. Fear of failure can stop you from practicing, which is exactly what you need to improve. So what you have to do is practice English, even though you make mistakes. You should talk to everyone in English and do not fear making mistakes. Just imagine you're talking to your friends. You fear making mistakes, so you speak in your native language, even though they are speaking in English. How do you feel about it? You might be relieved, like, okay, I did not make any mistakes, and they are not making fun of me. But you're actually making a big mistake by not practicing English. You are afraid to speak English. You should stop this. To speak English fluently, I know you might be scared about your grammar, pronunciation, or sentence structure, but that doesn't matter in the initial stages of speaking. After 3 or 4 months, you will be able to speak fluent English if you practice daily. Mistakes are part of learning. And I'll tell you one secret. The more you speak and make mistakes, the faster you will improve in English. Yes, that's the truth. If you practice and make mistakes, you can improve very fast. Instead of focusing on being perfect, just speak. Convey what you want to say. The fourth mistake is not practicing listening enough. You might be wondering, why is listening so important? We are reading, doing grammar, and pronouncing properly. I'll tell you, many learners focus heavily on reading and grammar exercises. They will be perfect in everything, but don't practice listening enough, which is essential for real-life conversations. You know why? I'll give you an example. You understand written text, but you struggle to follow conversations in movies or with native speakers because their pace is too fast. You feel like they're speaking very fast, and you cannot follow them. Or when watching a movie, you can't understand it because you feel like it's too fast. This is because you're not listening enough. Make sure to practice listening because it is very important in real-life English, whether through podcasts, movies, or TV shows. Try to expose yourself to different contexts and different pronunciations and accents in English, because it will be very useful for you. It will help you understand any native speaker. When you listen to a lot of English, your ears will naturally get used to it. I have already talked about this in earlier videos, like in the second and third episodes, about listening. When you're listening, your ears get used to natural English, and they can pick up English words easily. So always try to listen. I've already told you that every skill, listening, reading, writing, speaking, works together. They are all important to speak English fluently and easily. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of the learning process, but the key is to recognize them and overcome them. Don't forget to comment down below any mistakes you've made without realizing they were mistakes, and also tell me what you're going to do to overcome them. So, guys, that's all for today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll be back with part 2 of this episode, finding more mistakes and solving them to help improve your overall confidence. Thank you for being part of this journey. Mistake number 5, avoiding native speakers. All right, show of hands. How many of you get nervous when you see a native speaker walking towards you? Be honest. You think, oh no, what if they start talking to me? What if they ask me a question? What if I can't understand them? So, what do? You just avoid them. Start small, but start now. That's the mistake you're making. You should talk to native speakers. Don't shy away. Start with simple interactions, like going to a coffee shop and ordering a coffee in English, or asking for directions in English, or just saying hi in English. Trust me, these little moments add up and build your confidence. And remember, most people are patient and will appreciate the effort you are making. So, next time you see a native speaker, don't run away. Just go and talk to them. The 6th mistake, trying to learn too much at once. Imagine I'm trying to eat an entire pizza in one bite. You wouldn't do that, right? Then why do you do this with English? A lot of learners think they need to cram as much as possible into a study session. They try to fill up as much as possible until it overflows. They will learn 50 new words in a single day, binge watch 5 English videos, and try to master 3 grammar tenses in 1 week. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. I'll give you an example. Imagine you're learning 50 new words today, and you learned everything. You're set with everything. You have a list of vocabulary. You learned it all. But then, when it comes to speaking, you won't even remember any of those words. You know there's a word you can replace, but you just can't remember it. You know it's there on this page, in this line, but you can't recall it because you're learning all at once. You're not giving your brain time to practice or use the words properly. What you should do is learn in little chunks. Learn little by little. Take 5 words today, learn those words, use them in sentences, use them when you're speaking, use them when you're writing, and practice those 5 words thoroughly. Then, move on to the next 5 words the next day. It's better than trying to memorize 50 words in a single day. Think of it as slow cooking your English, not a microwave quick fix. The next mistake, focusing only on grammar. I get it. Grammar is important. But here's the thing. Focusing only on grammar is like learning to swim by reading a book. At some point, you've got to jump into the pool. And that's what many learners miss. They don't speak or practice English properly. They just focus on grammar. Every rule, every exercise, every question of grammar. They've got it all. They spend too much time trying to get every grammar rule right, but they actually forget to speak and practice English. Ask them a question related to grammar, and they can answer it easily. But when it comes to speaking, they're not as good. Next time you catch yourself obsessing over grammar, just think, does this stop me from being understood by the other person? If your answer is no, then move on. Get comfortable with the idea that your English doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be understood. So, speak a lot. With time, you'll be able to speak perfect English. The next mistake, not setting realistic goals. This is the last one, but it's a biggie. Not setting realistic goals. If your goal is something like, I want to be fluent in English, that's like saying, I want to be a millionaire tomorrow. You need clear, achievable goals to make progress in English. Instead of just saying, I want to learn English easily, or I want to be fluent in English. Set smaller goals like, I will learn 10 new words today, or I will learn 3 new grammar rules this week. Set smaller goals, break them down, track your progress, and reward yourself whenever you see success. Whenever you achieve a small milestone, reward yourself. Pat yourself on the back and say, you did well. This journey to fluency is made up of hundreds of tiny wins, so celebrate each one. And that's a wrap for part 2 of this episode on common mistakes people make while learning English. Remember, learning English is a journey. It's not a sprint. You can't achieve it today, tomorrow, or in 1 week. It takes time. It's okay to make mistakes, feel frustrated, and even take a break now and then. But you should be confident, come back, and start practicing English. Be consistent. I always say, consistency is the key to speaking English fluently. So guys, this is all for today. I hope this video was useful. I'll make a video on listening in the next episode. I'll let you know what you should listen to in order to speak English fluently, so stay tuned for that episode. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Bye.